Hi guys, it's Tara and welcome back to Crafting with Curly Cues. Today is day 11 of my Handmade Holiday video series. So I'm going to be creating these really fun see-through shaker cards for gift cards. So they have a gift card pocket, but you can see through and see the gift card inside. So I'm going to do something a little different at the beginning, and I'm going to go regular speed. I didn't speed this up because I want to be able to show you guys what I did to create all these pieces. So first I used an A2 size stitched rectangle from Lawn Fawn and I cut it out some pattern paper. And then I took one of the smaller rectangles that actually is just ever so slightly larger than a gift card, and I cut that out of the middle of that A2 panel that I had cut. So then I used a stamp pocket. So this is just an Avery Elle stamp pocket. And I took a stitched rectangle that was 2 sizes up from the small frame, and I went ahead and ran that through my die cut machine. So I used that stamp pocket, you can see, and I was able to get 2 pockets out of this. It's nice because it cuts both sides, so you really end up with 4 pieces of transparency. And I'm going to use my fuse tool later to create these shaker pockets. So you can see then how those 2 come together to form the frame that's going to go on the front to go ahead and frame that window. And then I used that bigger one again to cut out of the same color cardstock a back panel for the inside of the card, and used a little circle die to create a little thumb grippy hole there so you can grab the gift card from the inside. So now I'm going to show you kind of how I put this together. So I've sped it up a little bit, so this is more normal pace for my videos. So I'm taking a couple of those transparencies and I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers fuse tool, and I have let this heat up for probably about 10 minutes while I was prepping all my pieces. And I'm just going to go ahead and run this down 3 sides. Now I could have been a little bit more precise and use the ruler guide that came with the fuse tool, but I was kind of using those stitched lines because I used those stitched rectangle dies as a guide. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be hidden, so I wasn't too super stressed. So now to fill these little pockets, I went ahead and decided to use the Holly Jolly sequin mix from Pretty Pink Posh. So I'm using some 6mm and some 4mm. I have been using the heck out of this sequin mix this Christmas. It just has so many great colors. It goes with everything. So I've just been like loving it. So I decided I need a little bit more in there, so I busted out my sparkling clear, and I'm going to put just a few of the big Mambo 10mm in there, and then go back and add some of the 4mm sparkling clear just to give it a little bit of sparkle inside that shaker pocket. I don't want this to be too full. I want to be able to see through it, but I do want enough to make sure you see it even when the card's not wiggling. So then I went ahead and sealed up the 4th side. So now I have that beautiful little pocket that's got all the shakies in it. And I went ahead and did the same thing for the other card as well. So now I'm going to start assembling here, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my ATG gun and put some adhesive on the back of the cardstock frame. And then I'm going to line that up on the front of the pattern paper. Oh, well, first I remembered that I needed to cut the window in my card base. So I have an A2 card base made from some Nina 110-pound solar white cardstock. And you can see what I actually did was I lined that pattern paper panel up with the front of the card, and then I went ahead and took that little die and stuck it inside the hole and then ran it through my Big Shot, and that way I make sure that the window gets in the exact same spot on the front of my card as it was in that panel, so that when I build the card everything lines up. So that was just an easy kind of cheat way to do that for me. So this pattern paper is from the Let's Bokeh in the Snow paper pack from Lawn Fawn. And then I just found some cardstocks that I thought coordinated on the front. You'll see I've already stamped my sentiment. That is from the Toboggan Together stamp set. And I used a couple images later. You'll see one from the Toboggan Together stamp set and one from the Yeti Set Go. So now I'm taking some score tape, and I'm just going to go ahead and line the back of that window on the front of that panel. I'm using score tape because it's extra strong, and I want to make sure that my little shaker pocket stays in place really well. And I actually, to be honest, I did one of these with the score tape and I did one just with my ATG gun, so I think either way would work. So now that shaker panel's on the front. So I love doing shaker panels with the fuse tool because they're so much flatter that you don't have to use all the foam tape. So just a handy tool. So even if you weren't doing the gift card pocket, that would be a fun way to do it. I put some score tape on the back of that inside panel, and now I'm just kind of trying to figure out, I do want that to be the way that when the card is closed, I don't want the gift card to fall out. So you want to make sure that you put the bottom on what would be the bottom of the card when it's closed. So you can see there how it's got that little slot where you'd be able to pull the gift card out. So that's going to be the pocket on the back. And now I'm just going to use my ATG and I'm just going to get this front part nice and sticky. I'm making sure not to get any glue on that red panel that's showing through because that is where the gift card's going to sit and I don't want it to stick. So now I'm going to line this up, and this took me just a minute because in spite of all my careful trickery, I still managed to get this a little bit crooked. But what I really want to do is line those two windows up so you can't see any of that white cardstock in between. So you could really avoid this. On my other one, the panel was white and the card base was white and you really can't see anything. So maybe if I'd had a red card base, this would have been even easier. So just a tip for next time. It was a little bit crooked, but that's no problem. I can just come in and trim off that excess there. So no worries. So this is pretty much done. Like you could leave it like this. I think it's pretty cool the way it is. You can see that the pocket is in there. So now I'm going to take my gift card. This is from Target. And you stick it in there. And you can see your gift card through the front. So I thought this would be really fun because a lot of stores have really snazzy gift cards these days. Like I think Starbucks would be really fun, like with a coffee themed one of these because you can see the fun coffee pattern through the front of the card. I just wanted to be able to show off those pretty gift cards and still have enough space on the inside to write a full card message. So that was kind of how I came up with this idea. So here's my little images that I had already colored with Copic markers and then used my coordinating dies to cut these out. This video is really more about the assembly of the gift card holder than the coloring, so I went ahead and did that off camera. So I just popped those up on some foam tape and then I added a few of those sequins to the front with some micro glue dots just to coordinate with the shaker. And now I'm adding some Wink of Stella all over my little critters because I have to add Wink of Stella because we all have to have glitzy glam in our lives. Now I'm going to put some little white dots on the cheeks of my critters. It's one of my favorite things to do. I think it just kind of makes them a little bit more whimsical. And I like to fill in the white dots on that deer with my gel pen as well. I'm coming in with my black pen on my deer to make the eyeball pop, and then I decided his hooves weren't standing out enough, so I colored those in with black as well. So these cards are all set. Well, actually, one finishing detail is that I have to turn my little deer into Rudolph. So I came in with some Christmas red stickles and just popped that on his little nose just to make him Rudolph. I've been kind of obsessed with these deer from Toboggan Together this year. I just really love them. So you can see how that shakes in front of the gift card. When you open that up, the gift card just slides right out because you have that little tab to grab onto. And then you can just slide that in there and your recipient has a fun little gift card holder, which your gift card provides the background of your card. So I think that's super fun. So here's a look at the little Yeti one and a look at both of them when they are all set. So thank you guys so much for watching. There's only one day left of my Handmade Holiday series. I'm super excited that I'm actually going to get to 12. I'm going to list all the supplies that I use over at my blog. You can join me on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. And here's a couple links to some other Handmade Holiday videos featuring Lawn Fawn. Thanks, guys. Bye.